the Blue Jays and the Red Sox today on Rogers Sportsnet. Boston took the opener. It was a 4-1 win last night. Ricky Romero's record falls to 7-4. And so Terry Francona's team prepares for yet another rookie left-hander today. And here is the lineup that the manager goes with. And they've got some good hitters in the 2 and 3 spots. Dustin Pedroia was last year's MVP. Kevin Youkilis batting third, could have easily won the award. He had a 2-run shot in last night's game, his 17th of the year. And the Red Sox today welcome back shortstop Jed Lowry. He's been gone for most of the year. He'll be getting the start at short and batting 8th, right in front of Canadian George Scutaro, who hails from nearby Scarborough, Ontario. The Red Sox backup catcher bats 9th today, and he does so against a left-hander making his first ever major league start in this city. You look at Mark Zebchinski, who gets the start for the Blue Jays. His numbers are presented by Ford. This is Ford Today, Drive 1.
His third start of the season since being called up when Scott Richmond went on the disabled list. Zebchinski, I think, has looked impressive. He has had trouble throwing strikes at times, but he has found his way out of that. Owen Warner with an ERA of 3. He's been fun to watch in his first 2 starts. The scouting report for the young left-hander, he's got a fastball with good sink to it. He'll also throw a curveball, a slider, and a changeup really at any time in the count. He likes to throw backwards. When he is ahead, he'll throw breaking balls and vice versa. And one of the things that we have noticed, and I think he has to do today, he's got good poise when he is out on the mound, but he has to have command. These Boston Red Sox hitters are veterans. They can really work the count and work a young pitcher, so he's got to have that poise and he's got to have that command this afternoon. And the assignment today for catching the young lefty will be Raul Chavez, who I think has done a really nice job behind the plate this year, calling ball games, throwing out base runners, and really taking control of the game when he is in there. He caught him in his last start at Baltimore, and he gets him again this afternoon.
Well, the Blue Jays today wear their alternate black jerseys, and let's set them up defensively.
Adam Lind will start in left field. He was the DH in last night's game. No Vernon Wells again, still out with the intestinal problem, so Rios will slide in the center field. Bautista again in right field. Overbay, Hill, Scutaro, and Rolen around the infield, first to third.
Likewise, the Boston Red Sox are missing some speed in their order. Jacoby Ellsbury is sick as well, so he's out of the lineup for the 2nd straight day. J.D. Drew shows bunt on the first pitch, and it's time to play baseball here in Toronto, so glad you've joined us. Drew falls behind 0-1, and he shows bunt again. The appeal down to third says he didn't go around. So the count is even.
And why not show bunt? You're facing a left-hander you've never faced before. The Blue Jays are putting in a shift with J.D. Drew at the plate, and now Scott Rolen has come in right around that line where the infield and the dirt separate themselves. You know, all J.D. Drew has to do is just get the ball down on the left side, and with his speed, he'll be able to get a base hit.
I don't recall in past years seeing the Blue Jays operate with this kind of a defense against Drew.
No. We've seen it against Big Papi, David Ortiz, and some of the big sluggers, but not J.D. Drew.
Drew went 0 for 4 in last night's game, hitting just 100 in his last 8 games. He struck out twice in a 4-1 win for Boston. Here facing rookie Mark Zebchinski in his first ever start in Toronto. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And he goes around. Drew strikes out.
There's the command with the breaking ball and how he'll use that off-speed pitch against Drew from high above. You can see that J.D. Drew certainly did go around, and he is called out by home plate umpire Laz Diaz.
When we broadcast the game last Sunday in Baltimore, Zebchinski on the hill, you said it was very important for Brian Roberts to take as many pitches as he could to give some of his teammates a good look at the rookie left-hander.
That's what you want to get out of your leadoff hitter. maybe you can get 5, maybe 6 pitches where you can see all the repertoire that the pitcher has. You can see the changeup, the curveball, the slider, whatever he has. And then if you get to first base, get that big lead, and let's take a look at that move over to first.
Here's the number 2 hitter, Dustin Pedroia. 2 balls and no strikes. Zebchinski deals, and it's hit hard to left field, a base hit.
He packs a wallop in that number 2 hole. He's not very big, but he is very aggressive when he is at the plate. Doesn't get cheated. Gets himself into a fastball count and rips it in the left field for the game's first hit. The more you watch Dustin Pedroia, and I know he was the MVP last year, but the more you watch him, you're so impressed with the way he plays the game. All the little things that don't show up in the box score. Defensively, offensively, base running, leadership in the clubhouse, down on that bench. He turned a beautiful double play in last night's game when he had to backhand the ball, helped out his pitcher. Nobody was talking about that at the end of the game.
He takes a short lead at first as Kevin Youkilis steps in. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Zebchinski. It catches the strike zone. Youkilis is oh so good at grinding out the at-bats and stands well back in the batter's box. Zebchinski throws over. Pedroia is not straying at all from first base.
Yeah, he is actually heading back towards first when Zebchinski picks up his leg. One of the things that Youkilis has done, look how close his feet are. He was talking the last time we were playing them. He was telling me that he really likes to stand close like that, have his feet together. When he first came up, he was more spread out, and he felt that he couldn't get to the inside part of the plate. But now he's got his feet together. He can turn on that pitch, kind of like what he did in last night's game. Look at that. Almost toe-to-toe in the batter's box, but that helps him with his balance, and it helps him just attack the ball.
Here's a slow roller to Hill. Pedroia stops. They throw to first to get one. Throw back to second is wide. Pedroia stays on the bag, and he's safely in there. That's heads up base running.
Well, a good throw would have had him. You are told as a base runner, the last thing from the first base coach, do not let the second baseman tag you with a ground ball. Hill gets into the line, gets Pedroia to stop, makes the play, and now a good throw, and he would have been out by a mile. But the throw from Overbay takes Scutaro to the third base side of the bag, and Pedroia gets in there safely. Overbay's got one of the best arms for a first baseman in the American League. That time it just sailed on him.
So the Red Sox stay alive here in the top of the first. We'll see if David Ortiz can take advantage. He faces Zebchinski for the first time. Takes a pitch inside for ball 1. Here's Big Papi with 11 home runs in his last 33 games. That slow start of his, a thing of the past. Pat, I'm sure the Red Sox have no problem with a .226 average if he continues to hit them out of the ballpark.
Well, he's starting to drive and run. That's what he is paid for. That's what he is in the lineup to do. He drove in 2 big runs yesterday, just missing his 13th home run by a couple of feet right off the top of the wall. And he is in the middle of that lineup to drive in runs. Dustin Pedroia, the runner at second base, is getting a humongous lead out there. If he wanted to steal third base, I think he could do it easily. But you don't want to take the bat out of the hands of David Ortiz. So you just stand out there. They've got the shift on. Rolen has got to occupy the third base bag just in case he does take off, but there's a huge hole up the middle.
And he's hardly occupying it with that shift on. Rolen is well off the bag at third.
They're kind of playing halfway, I guess, but he usually plays straight away shortstop when Ortiz is at the plate, but he has to respect Pedroia at second. Take a look at the lead that he can get and the secondary lead that Pedroia can get at second. Anything to the outfield, hard or soft, is going to score easily.
23-year-old rookie Mark Zepchinski with 2 strikes on David Ortiz. And Ortiz backs out, calling time. Here comes the rookie, and it's grounded to the right side, picked up by Hill. He throws out Ortiz, and the top of the first comes to an end. The Red Sox get a base hit and leave one. The Blue Jays bring Marco Scutaro to the plate next. In the Blue Jays order, with leadoff man Marco Scutaro heading the proceedings here for the Jays, who have really leaned on Scott Rolen this year. Easily, he's been one of the most consistent Blue Jays and has not been held back by injury, and that's a good sign. So Rolen bats fourth. And the Blue Jays, for the 3rd time this year, face veteran right-hander Brad Penny.
Yeah, 31 years old now in his 10th year in the big leagues. It's been a nice pickup for the Boston Red Sox this year. His 18th start of the year, and he has allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in his last 6 starts.
First pitch swinging, Scutaro fouls one away. And what a turnaround from last year for Penny, who won just 6 games all year. He's matched that total this season and was bothered extensively by problems with his right shoulder.
Yeah, he was the Dodgers opening day starter last year. Went 6-9 with an ERA over 6. Spent 3 separate stints on the disabled list with shoulder problems. And the Red Sox, I think, did a good job last year of scouting guys, veterans, and saying, hey, this guy will fit into our rotation. John Smoltz fits in on this team. Rocco Baldelli. They weren't the big splashes that we saw the Yankees making or some of those other teams, but they got good, reliable veterans, and Penny has really panned out for him this year.
2 strikes now on Scutaro, who did not get a hit in last night's game, but did walk twice. So he continues to play the role of an effective leadoff man. One ball and 2 strikes. The easy delivery from Brad Penny is off the plate for ball 2.
He is a big guy. I was in the clubhouse of the Boston Red Sox this morning, and he was standing in front of his locker, and I was just amazed how big and how strong he is.
Driven to right field. J.D. Drew is there, and Scutaro is erased.
And you see that nice fluid arm action that you have from Penny. A lot of the Boston Red Sox pitchers are like that, and he will challenge you with his fastball. He's lost a little on that fastball, now 88 to 93, but he will challenge you. He's got that big, slow overhand curveball that really messes up the timing of the batters, and he really mixes well. Pitches backwards at times, mixes in that breaking ball. He's got a little bit of a split, but just understands pitching. He doesn't just go out there and just try and blow it by everybody.
And has shown to have good control this year, Pat. If you look at some of the numbers, over 93 innings of work, he's only walked 29 batters. As he faces Aaron Hill and misses with a breaking ball, 2-0 on the number 2 hitter. Hill is 0 for his last 11, hoping to break out of that here today. He drives a liner to left field, but there is Jason Bay, perfectly placed. 2 hard hit balls by the Blue Jays.
That's part of his game that you don't hear a lot about. He has not made an error, Bay, in left field. He'll be joined by Baldelli and Drew in the outfield. Youkilis and Pedroia on the right side. You see George Scutaro gets the start behind the plate today. Usually catches Tim Wakefield. And Jed Lowry, back from the disabled list, thrown right into the fire here this afternoon, will start at shortstop for Boston.
What an eventful weekend it's been at that position. They designated Julio Lugo for assignment. He's been moved out of the organization. They kept Nick Green, who's really opened some eyes in the Red Sox organization. And Jed Lowry gets his starting position back. With 2 away, Adam Lind comes up. Lind doubled in the game last night and has hits in 9 consecutive games. The 0-1 pitch is high. In fact, Adam this year has been a doubles machine. He's had 28 two-baggers and 47 extra base hits this season. That's number 1 in the American League.
He's really, I think, an accomplished hitter who seems to be getting better day in and day out. Remember, we saw him last year for a little bit. But he has taken his game to the next level, and he's doing it with power. 19 home run. You mentioned all the doubles. Still looking for his first triple of the season.
We have not seen Lynn go into an extended slump at any time this year.
Because he has the ability to hit the ball from foul line to foul line. I have sat here and I've watched pitchers change on him, throw fastballs away. He's handled that. They've then moved to the inside part of the plate, and he's been able to pull balls. I've seen him try and change up on him, throw breaking balls. He's been able to handle that.
He rolls it to first. Youkilis takes it and gets the out. 1, 2, 3 go to Blue Jays. End of 1, no score here in Toronto. Back with LCD TV. Go to sportsnet.ca/baseball game and launch it right now. A good looking crowd on hand today for the Blue Jays and Red Sox. Game number 2. Mark Zebczynski in just his 3rd big league start faces Canadian Jason Bay, now a dual Canadian American citizen. He commented it's been quite a couple of weeks now that he's received his American citizenship. Within weeks of getting it, he meets the President of the United States. He belts this one into left center field, and it rolls on up against the wall. Bay turns for second. Rios picks it up and brings it in as Bay doubles to lead off the 2nd inning.
He's got some speed also. He came out of that box thinking double all the way. High fastball, something up in the zone, and that is a pitch that Bay has not missed this year. Putting together a great year, and he comes out hard thinking extra bases. Double number 20 on the season for Jason Bay.
And last night, the Red Sox welcomed back Mike Lowell from the disabled list. He went 2 for 4. So here's Lowell facing the rookie Zebczynski. Off the plate for ball 1.
It's early in the game. 0-0 score, leadoff double. If I am Mike Lowell, I'm thinking about driving that runner in. I'm not thinking about moving him. I'll leave that for later in the game if it's still close. He's a proven RBI guy. He's a big league hitter. He's had seasons of 100 RBIs numerous times. So this early in the game, thinking about finding a pitch and hitting it hard somewhere.
Here's the 2-0. Now 3 balls and no strikes on Lowell. Bottom of the order upcoming for the Red Sox. Rocco Baldelli, their number 7 hitter, is on deck. Lowell is taking. It's strike 1. So if he's up there, Pat trying to drive in a run, he's got a good opportunity here on 3-1. But Zebczynski misses off the plate.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, that you have first base open. You're behind 3-1. Don't give a proven RBI guy something to hit. Walk him and pitch to the next guy. Maybe you can get a ground ball and get a 2 for 1. I think that's why they went breaking ball and he hung it outside. Right now, it doesn't look like he's finishing his pitches. It looks like he's kind of like leaving things out there. He's got to get out there, Zebczynski, and finish that pitch off, and that breaking ball will stay a little bit lower in the strike zone.
We watched Ricky Romero last night over 4 1/3 really get amped up to face the Red Sox, and at times may have overthrown because of it.
I think the one at bat that really did him in was the at bat to Dustin Pedroia that took 12 pitches. And it seemed like after that at bat by Pedroia, it seemed like he started laboring, taking a little bit more time in between pitches, trying to get his breath. Ended up with 8 strikeouts.
Here's an 0-2 situation. Zebczynski comes in high with ball 1. Directly after that 12 pitch at bat, he ended up walking Youkilis and then giving up the 2-run double to Ortiz. And that was the end of the line for Ricky Romero. Here it's Zebczynski with a difficult situation against the Boston Red Sox. 2 on, nobody out. 1-2 though on Baldelli, who does not chase the pitch inside. And it's now 2-2.
Red Sox just have good veteran hitters that really know how to set up pitchers. They know what to look for. Very rarely will you see them go out of the strike zone and swing at a ball.
He misses, and it's 3-2.
Well, it didn't miss by much. He actually wanted the ball on the inside part of the plate. Maybe that breaking ball went around the plate. That's right on the corner. That's strike 3 right there.
Well, let's see if Zebchinski is unfazed by missing on that call as Baldelli fouls it away. Good disciplined hitters, Pat, can really run up pitch counts against rookies like Zebchinski.
17 in the first inning. Mark Zebchinski had.
Already 13 pitches thrown in this inning. And he has yet to record an out. Three and 2 on Baldelli. And Zebchinski steps off. Comes with a pitch, and it's chopped behind the plate. Fielded beautifully by Laz Diaz, the home plate umpire. Baldelli in a fight with Zebchinski here. The young man on the left, just 23 years of age, and just his 3rd start at this level after only 2 in AAA. Tries another, and this one bounces behind home as well. So to this point, facing Baldelli, Zebchinski's thrown 9 pitches.
And if you don't think that wears on you, it wears on you when you're out there throwing all these pitches to just one batter. You make a pitch here, though, you can get that double play.
Shot to the gap, and there's a base hit for Baldelli. Bay rounds 3rd and heads for home. Here's the throw in, and Rolen drops the ball. Scott Rolen dropped the ball. He had Lowell dead on arrival.
Jose Bautista leads this club with 5 assists, and it would have been number 6. Lowell actually stopped or slowed down around second base. Good piece of hitting here by Baldelli. He goes out of the strike zone and rips it into right field. Cut off by Bautista, and he comes up throwing. Lowell had slowed down at second base, and he was DOA at third base. But you're right. Scott Rolen, sure-handed, could not come up with that one bounce throw from Bautista, and the runners move up. Lowell into 3rd, and Baldelli heads up base running, gets into 2nd.
Here is Jed Lowry now, who hasn't been in the big leagues since the 2nd week of April. His first at bat, he's got nobody out and 2 men in scoring position. And he's up there against a rookie left-hander. There's Lowell safely at 3rd. Baldelli up at 2nd after driving home Bay. 1-0 Boston. Zebchinski with the pitch, and it's grounded foul. Boy, you can tell, Pat, that Mike Lowell is really laboring around the base paths.
He had the hip problem, spent some time on the disabled list. And again, initially he was just going to stop at second base, but I think he might have saw that Bautista was laying back on that ball and then took off, and he would have been out.
Well, Lowry goes down looking, and so he's gone on strikes for out number 1.
In the opening, we talked about the breaking ball that Zebczynski has. That time he freezes Jed Lowry in a big situation.
So with one gone, left-handed hitting George Scutaro comes up. One of two Canadian-born players on this Boston Red Sox team. He's from nearby Scarborough, Ontario. Hitting just .218 this year, but Terry Francona has been so impressed with how he's handled the knuckleballer Tim Wakefield. And he pops this one up back third. Rolen's at the line. He makes the catch, and Scutaro is gone.
Big pitch right there from Zebczynski. Second and third, nobody out. He gets the strike out of Lowry. The runners can't advance on this little pop-up from Scutaro in the infield.
Well, here's the kid facing J.D. Drew again, and he's got an opportunity, if he can get it out, to get out of something that looked like it would be a lot of damage, but no. He gets the ground ball from Drew, and the Red Sox only score one. It could have been a whole lot worse for Zebczynski. Of course, for kids 14 and under only. For more information, look at bluejays.com/juniorjays. Great day for a ball game, without question. The roof is open, not too hot, not too muggy, a cool little breeze, and the best team in the division provides the opposition. That is the Boston Red Sox. Here's Scott Rolen. After the Blue Jays went down in order in the first. He'll be followed by Lyle Overbay and then Alex Rios. Base hit up the middle.
Scott Rolen has faced Brad Penny by far the most of any Blue Jay batter. 35 times coming in this game. That goes back to their time spent together in the National League. Respectable batting average of .286. He picks up his 11th career hit against him. A good start here in the second.
Lyle Overbay is coming off a brilliant night. He was 3 for 4 in last night's game. He has now had 3 hit games twice this year. And the last time he did it, in fact, he drove in 5 in a victory in Washington on the 21st of June. However, that was also the last time he's driven in a run. It's been a long stretch. In fact, 20 games since Overbay has picked up an RBI.
He hit the double to center field yesterday that bounced over the wall.
Yes.
That would have
been an RBI.
That would have been an RBI. But Scott Rolen had to go back to third base. Rolen was on first at the time. The run did score on the sacrifice fly by Rios. So Lyle gets an RBI taken away from him.
Grounded past it, diving Youkilis into right field. Rolen with the jump, heads for third. Runners at the corners for the Blue Jays and nobody out.
The hot bat continues for Lyle Overbay. If you're going to throw him breaking balls, you better get it away, especially with that hole open on the right side. This is easy pickings for Overbay as he hammers it by Youkilis. Down into that right field corner. Rolen knows that J.D. Drew, the right fielder, has got to move for that ball. So he can make it easily in the third base. Overbay with a nice piece of hitting there.
Alex Rios takes ball one. We spoke of Brad Penny's excellent control. In 2 previous starts against the Blue Jays this year, he's combined to allow 19 hits.
But he still has not lost to the Blue Jays in his career. He has had 6 career starts against the Jays and he's undefeated.
Penny facing Rios. And the numbers for Rios, though it's a small sample against Penny, are incredible. 8 for 11. That's a .727 batting average. Now would be a good time to make it 9 for 12 because there is the situation. 2 men on, nobody out, second inning. And the Red Sox jumped out to a 1-0 lead at the top of the inning. 3-0, and the pitch is high. A walk to Rios, loads them up.
I think Brad Penny knew his numbers against Rios also. Pitched around him, and he'll take the chance now with the bottom of the order.
He will face the only man to hit a grand slam for the Blue Jays this year, and that is Kevin Millar. Serving as the designated hitter today. Penny greets him with strike one. Millar, of course, had some of his best years with the Red Sox. He coined the phrase cowboy up during their run to the World Series in 2004.
Was he one of those idiots too? Didn't he have that going?
Yep, the band of idiots.
The band of idiots. I'm sure that came from Kevin Millar also. He's got his work cut out for him now. 0-2.
In the dirt, and it's blocked by Kataris. And as they exchange baseballs, let's get a little more on Millar from Sam Cosentino.
Jamie, we showed a shot earlier of Cito Gaston talking to Kevin Millar. I go back to the workout on Thursday when everyone returned from the All-Star break, and Cito Gaston pulled Millar aside during batting practice on that evening as well. So obviously Cito sees something in his swing that he's trying to work on with Millar at this point.
1-2, the pitch inside, and you also saw them right at the bottom of the first inning. having an extensive conversation. And Cito does that a lot with most of the hitters.
They'll sit down there and they'll talk. Kevin Millar's got a swing where there's lots of moving parts, but when he gets himself set, see how he waggles that bat. When he gets himself set, he can turn around any fastball.
He grounds this one to Lowry, who flips to Pedroia, over to Youkilis, and a double play. Rolen, though, comes in and ties the game at 1.
Red Sox had the infield back. They were conceding that run. They were looking for a double play. If they have the infield in, this is a 2-run single by Millar, who stings it pretty hard. Good turn in the middle of the diamond by Jed Lowry. Rios, the runner at first base, was no effect on him. Watch him stand right in there, and Rios goes into the bag, and an easy double play.
Popped into shallow right field. In comes J.D. Drew. Out goes Bautista, and the Blue Jays load him up with nobody out, but get only 1. And so we've got a tie ball game here in Toronto. The ball game. I believe that's Chris far right. Certainly fans of the Calgary Flames remember his time with that organization. So Chris enjoys the ball game from down low, courtesy of TD Canada Trust. Tied at 1 after 2 innings of play here in Toronto. I'm Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino. Rookie Mark Zebchinski's on the hill for the Blue Jays today. And he faces Dustin Pedroia to lead off the 3rd. Pedroia singled to left his first time up.
We know that Dustin Pedroia won the most valuable player last year for the American League.
Drills this one to center field. Pardon me, Pat.
Rips it out to Rios. The Red Sox now have had a most valuable player every decade since the 1930s.
Since the 30s.
Since the 30s. They've had at least one player win the MVP in a decade since the 1930s. I'm talking Ted Williams, Carl Yastrzemski, Fred Lynn, Roger Clemens, Mo Vaughn, and then Dustin Pedroia. What an honor.
Did Jim Rice win one as well?
Jim Rice in 1978.
And how about Pedroia, who did it the year after he won the Rookie of the Year award? And Fred Lynn, when he did it, what, 1975, was the Rookie of the Year and the MVP in the same season. Here's Youkilis. And had they awarded it to Youkilis last year, nobody would have blinked. He had a tremendous season. Justin Morneau had a very good year, but his numbers began to slide around the second week, and that one comes right in on Youkilis and hits the end of the bat. And unlike Nick Green last night, he's not trying to sell this at all.
We saw the exact same thing in last night's game with Nick Green. Fastball in, right off the knob of the bat.
Here's the kick and the pitch from Zebchinski in the dirt. Youkilis, a very disciplined hitter, working it to 2-2. And the pitch is in the air down the right field line. Bautista over there, and it bounces in fair territory up into the stands, and that is a double for Youkilis.
If you're a good hitter, you've got to be able to handle all pitches, and you've got to use the whole field. Kind of a half swing from Youkilis. A long way to go for Bautista. And that ball bounces into the stands for the Red Sox 4th hit. Kevin Youkilis is just a good hitter. He's got power. He can hit for average. He can drive in runs. A little half swing gets him a double.
Here's the first pitch to Big Papi, and it misses high. 1 ball and no strikes on Ortiz. Ortiz grounded to Hill at second in the first inning. Back for a second time facing the rookie Zebchinski. On 2-0, it's in at the knees, now 3-0.
Be careful here. You've got first base open. You do have a dangerous hitter in Jason Bay behind David Ortiz. Just like the last time when he was up, Ortiz is up there to drive in runs. Don't just throw one of those, here's a 3-0 fastball, and assume he's going to take it. He might let it go.
Well, he takes on the first one.
Yeah, that ball was a little away from him. I think if that one was in, he would have taken a shot at it.
Does he risk it again here?
If you're going to throw him a fastball, keep it away from him. Make him reach for it.
Throws him something off speed and gets a strike. So now the count goes full.
In the scouting report, we talked about Zebchinski has the ability to pitch backwards. 3-1 is a obvious fastball count, but he crosses up Ortiz and throws him a breaking ball. Now maybe you have got breaking ball in the minds of David Ortiz, and you can maybe slip a fastball by him. But it's got to be in a good spot.
Where is a good spot for Ortiz?
Away. He has power the other way, but not like down and in.
Inside, it's rolled to Hill. He's plugging that hole between first and second and gets Ortiz. So the DH is the second out. Youkilis advances to third. And we'd like to remind you that coming up on the 7th of August, a big night here at Rogers Center. They're celebrating a reunion of the 92 and 93 World Series teams. Most of the players from those teams will be here in the building meeting with fans. It is going to be a gigantic celebration, and we encourage you to get your tickets now for Friday, August the 7th, when the Blue Jays host the Orioles. It's the back-to-back World Series reunion.
I know there's going to be autograph sessions for the fans. I believe before the game, during, after.
At some point very soon we'll be releasing details as to the availability of the players and where they'll be, and you can sort of buy your ticket, decide who it is you want to go and talk to, and make your way to a certain part of the stadium, and then all the players will be introduced in a ceremony prior to the game. There are some big time celebrations planned, and this kind of thing has been in the works now for some time, spearheaded for the most part by Joe Carter, who still has not tracked down Pat Borders.
Really?
He hadn't figured a way of getting a hold of him back in March, and he still hasn't found him yet. Swing and a miss there from Bay. It's 2-2. So if you're watching and you know Borders, have him call somebody here at the Blue Jays office. There's Kevin Youkilis. 2 gone, 3rd inning. Jason Bay doubled and scored his last time up. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed, and Sepchinski got him. Down goes Bay, and Youkilis left stranded at 3rd. So Sepchinski's pitching ensures a 1-1 tie heading into the last of the 3rd inning. A reminder to think about getting your tickets in advance for the big night, in particular Friday night, August the 7th. It's the Orioles and Blue Jays, and most of the key components from those 2 World Series teams will be here. One of them's in the booth with us today, Pat Tabler.
Take out the word key.
Hey, no. You had some key at bats in '92. That must be fun for you to know that in a couple of weeks' time you're going to get a chance to see a lot of the guys that you spent a lot of time with.
I'm really anxious to see who is coming back. I've heard some of the names, but not all of them, and I guess some of the details will come out over the next week or so.
If you go to BlueJays.com, there is a list of the players expected to show up. They've got commitments from a whole bunch of different people.
Eddie Sprague is on that list.
Yes, he is.
Good to see him. And Kelly Gruber.
Oh, right back at Penny. Kick, save, and a beauty there. He takes one away from Chavez. And the Blue Jays' first hitter of the inning is retired.
You know, it happened so fast, not sure if that ball hit him on the heel of the glove. This one came back a rocket right at him, right on his glove side, which helped. and then the easy pickup and throw. This replay might show where it hit, and I think it did get gloved. Just ricocheted around in that glove a little bit, did not get his arm. That guy there, even if he does take it off meat, is not going to hurt him.
No.
Because he's so big.
Strike one on Marco Scutaro. Scutaro lined sharply to right field. His first time up. Back for a second time against Penny. Shoots that one down the line and foul. Penny is now 31 years of age and comes from Blackwell, Oklahoma. 2 years removed from going 16-4 with the Dodgers. You know, the Red Sox in the offseason didn't really generate the headline grabbing acquisitions. They went out and made some quiet and somewhat savvy signings, Penny among them.
Tough pitch there. Yeah, they didn't go out and get a Sabathia or Burnett, made the big splash like the New York Yankees. They were in the running for Mark Teixeira. That certainly would classify as a big splash. Penny on the inner half with the fastball. We saw Mark Zebchinski get one taken away from him that hit the corner. That one on the replay shows that he just nicked the black. But again, the Boston Red Sox were in the running for a Mark Teixeira, and he chose to go with the New York Yankees. But some of the signings that they did have that you mentioned, under the radar but solid.
Here's a liner right to Pedroia, and he robs Aaron Hill of a base hit. After 3, 1-1, you're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. Four channels beginning at 5 Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific. On tap, though, today, Major League Baseball. It's the Blue Jays and Red Sox tied at 1 after 3 innings. Rookie Mark Zebchinski is up against veteran Brad Penny today. The Blue Jays with a run on 2 hits. Boston with a run on 4. Here in the 4th, it's Lowell, Baldelli, and Lowry scheduled to face the left-hander. As Lowell steps in, takes ball 1 inside. Let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team. Once again, here's Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, over the course of the bottom of the third inning, some drops of rain falling upon me here in my seats in front of the scouts. And as a result of all the cloud cover right now, I've turned on the lights here at the Rogers Center. So we'll see if that affects any of the outfielders here, especially in the line drives, as we've seen in the past.
It can be a chore sometimes if you get just the right trajectory of a ball and you're standing there in right or left field. We've seen guys battle those lights frequently.
And just lose it completely. Home field advantage for the Blue Jays if the lights are on a line drive. The outfielders are used to it.
Here's Scutaro backhanding the ball. Lowell's not running very well these days, so he's an easy out at first.
3 errors in the first half of the season for Marco Scutaro. He might not have the best range in the American League or the strongest arm, but he positions himself very well. He's very sure-handed, and his arm has been very accurate. I think of those 3 errors, I think one of them was a throwing error, and it happened in Baltimore when he took the first baseman off the line on a throw.
Pop down the line. Bautista's got a ways to go, but he gets there in time to take it away from Baldelli. Quickly 2 out for Zebchinski, the rookie, here in the 4th inning.
Second time through the lineup now against the Boston Red Sox. He seems to have found his footing after that second inning when he had the bases loaded. Nobody out. They were only able to get 1 run.
Here's the return of Jed Lowry, the starting shortstop. Yesterday, 2.5 years into a 4-year, $36 million contract, the Red Sox designated Julio Lugo for assignment. And general manager Theo Epstein was quick to the point about his disappointment with the Lugo era, if you call it that. He said from the day we signed him, he showed up at camp lacking strength, lacking quickness. He was not the player that we saw playing for Tampa Bay. That's coming after they'd signed him to a 4-year, $36 million deal.
After he went to Los Angeles. When we saw Julio Lugo with Tampa Bay, he was a very exciting player. He had power, he had speed, but certainly not the player with the Boston Red Sox.
Sam, have you got more on this?
Well, Jamie, Theo Epstein sitting right behind me, and he's in the press conference yesterday when he was talking about Lugo, and the first to admit that he thought the mistake was a signing, that it was a signing that was based on past numbers and not what they had projected in the future. And although as what he referred to as a sunk cost, he has the backing from ownership to put the best team on the field. They felt that removing Lugo would enable the Red Sox to do that.
In the air, but this one stays in the park. Rios makes the catch. Lowry's gone, and Zebchinski gets his first 1-2-3 of the ball game. Rogers Fastbacks are brought to you by Canada's fastest mobile network, 3 times faster than any other. Did you know that the Blue Jays lead the major leagues with 203 doubles this season? In fact, they have at least 1 double in each of the last 21 games. And this is timely information, Pat, because the man coming to the plate is an extra base hit machine.
Number 1 in the American League, Adam Lind, in extra base hits. He has more extra base hits than Justin Morneau, Evan Longoria, Mark Teixeira, Carlos Pena. I mean, big-time sluggers in the American League. And if you want to take it out to all of baseball, he is tied with Prince Fielder for the 2nd most extra base hits in all of baseball. And I'm sure you know who's number 1.
Albert Pujols has to be. What a year he's having. But look at some of the names behind Lind here. All of them all-stars.
And all of them big sluggers in the American League. So you don't have to be a big, strong guy to hit home runs. You've got to have good timing. You've got to have good hand-eye coordination. And you have to have a good idea when you go up there. And that's one thing that Cito Gaston has told us all season long, that Adam Lind has been the best on the team to take a plan to the plate and stay with that plan. Dividends have paid off for Lind this year. He's having a great year.
Facing Brad Penny to begin the bottom of the 4th inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gutierrez moves inside, and it's muscled out toward left. Bay comes flying in to make the catch. And Lind is 0 for 2. Here's Scott Rolen now. He's singled to center in the 2nd inning. Advanced to 3rd on a single by Overbay. Alex Rios then walked. So in that 2nd inning, the Blue Jays loaded up the bases with nobody out. He grounds this one up the middle and gets another base hit. Rolen is 2 for 2. However, with the bases loaded, pardon me, Pat, Kevin Millar grounded into a double play, and then Bautista flied out, so they only got the 1 run.
Just like the Boston Red Sox, the top of that inning, Scott Rolen knows Brad Penny is going to challenge him with a fastball. So he doesn't wait around. He picks the first one and gets a 2nd hit.
Back comes Lowell Overbay, having a great series so far. He's now 4 for 5 at the plate after a single to right field in the 2nd inning.
We'll see if Brad Penny pitches him a little bit differently. Now again, same situation as last time. A runner on first base. He threw him a couple breaking balls and he pulled it in that hole.
To left field, a base hit for Overbay. Rolen stops at 2nd. Now 5 for 6 is number 35, 2 for 2 in this game.
He indeed stayed away from Lyle Overbay, but Overbay can cover this pitch. Something away from him. Doesn't try and pull it in that hole, stays right on it. Stays on top of that ball. You've got to keep the barrel of the bat over the ball there to hit it on a line the other way. Good piece of hitting there from Overbay.
He is really starting to heat up. And now Alex Rios, who always hits well against Brad Penny. Penny starts him with a strike. Oh, and 1 on Rios. And now Penny with the pitch, and that's a little low. There are the numbers, 8 for 11. And knowing that, as you mentioned in the 2nd inning, it looked as if Penny had just simply pitched around him.
Pitched around him, even though there was a runner at first and a runner at 3rd base. It worked out for him.
Here's the 1-1. Base hit left field. Rolen waved around third. Here he comes hustling home. He scores and the Blue Jays lead. Alex Rios continues his excellent run against Brad Penny and drives in the go-ahead run.
Numbers don't lie. Breaking ball, he stays right with it. It looked like he double clutched on that breaking ball, but has enough juice to get it into the outfield. Wasn't hit that hard, so Nick Leva, the third base coach, tells Scott Rolen, let's go. And he scores really without a throw.
So the Blue Jays now lead. Kevin Millar comes to the plate looking for more. There's Rios and Overbay. Still just one away. Millar takes strike one. With the bases loaded in the second, he grounded into a 6-4-3 double play, really killing the momentum of the inning. But a chance to improve on things here as he faces a former teammate in Brad Penny. 1-1. The Blue Jays would dearly love to try and knock Penny out of this game early. He has not gone more than 6 2/3 in any start this year as Millar fouls that one away. Despite his durability, he has not pitched into the 8th inning this year.
He has been very consistent. 5 innings last time, 6 the last couple of times into the 6th. It's been right at 5 or 6 innings. They have him on the ropes right here. First and second. Just one out.
Ball gets away from Scutaro, and the base runners advance.
That'll go as a pass ball to the young catcher for the Boston Red Sox, George Scutaro. High fastball from Penny. The runners move up.
Breaking ball, strike 3. He's gone looking.
He has some disagreement with the home plate umpire, Laz Diaz, thinking that that breaking ball was high. He gives up on it. You can see as we freeze it right there. Millar thinks it's up. The side will really tell. Looked like it was somewhere between the letters and the belt. So Penny comes up with a big strikeout. Just his second.
Big pitch indeed. That strike to Millar follows the pass ball that pushes 2 into scoring position. And so here is Bautista in a familiar position. Runners in scoring position and 2 out. He flied to right field on the first pitch the last time he had an opportunity like this one. He takes that for a strike. After Lynn flied out to begin the 4th for the Jays, Rolen singled, Overbay singled, Rios singled. 3 straight singles produces a run, and the Jays have gone ahead 2-1. Strike 2 on Bautista, and he's not happy about it.
Breaking ball again from Brad Penny. George Gutierrez does a good job of going down and get that one. Watch the catcher go down and just bring it back up. Hold it right there for the home plate umpire.
Well, Gutierrez wants a word, and this, Pat, is not a situation where Bautista has excelled this year.
He's hit the ball hard at times in this situation, but he has had 20 at-bats with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, and he's only been able to come up with 1 hit. This is a great time right here to pick up number 2.
1-2 under the elbows for ball 2. The Jays here with a pair of base runners. Lyle Overbay at third, Alex Rios at second, and Bautista, the number 8 hitter, sets for the 2-2 from Penny. Here it comes, and it is whacked to center field. Extra bases for Bautista. Overbay's in. Rios scores. It's 4-1 for the Blue Jays.
A 2-bagger. We talked about the Jays lead major leagues in doubles, and Jose Bautista picks a great time to pick up the Jays' 204th double of the season. A 2-out, 2-strike double ripped up into the gap in left center field. Just a good piece of hitting. Picking on a mistake from Brad Penny and picking up a couple of RBIs.
They have now doubled as a team in 22 consecutive games. Four to 1 Toronto. Bautista up at second. Chavez is the batter. He takes a strike, and Pat, the timing for Bautista was absolutely perfect because you recited those numbers. Terrible, terrible numbers with 2 out and runners in scoring position, but toss them out the window now.
And a great time to come up with that base hit. Managers love those 2-out, 2-strike base hits that produce runs.
Here's a fly to right field for Drew. He'll take it for the out and end the inning, but the Blue Jays score 3 times on 4 hits. The key belt from Bautista. It's 4-1 Toronto. please go to your cupboard now, pull out a non-perishable food item or 2 or 3 or whatever you can give, and bring it down to the ballpark. Hand it over to the Lady Jays. They will be more than grateful. And I see Pat Tabler up here in the booth.
I'm ready.
Good for you. You went to the corner store.
I got my goodies. I've got my money and everything, but I can't go down there right now.
No, you're a little busy.
Give it to them. So I got all my stuff here.
I see some craft dinner in there, some soup. Good for you.
Now, if you know anybody who can get to them, tell them to come on up here. We're ready to donate.
Well, I'm sure somebody from the Blue Jays office will come up and take that downstairs for you. Good for you. I dropped mine off before the game. There's Mark Zemchinski pitching with the lead now. It's 4-1 for the Jays as we begin the 5th inning. Zemchinski into the rotation. It was announced yesterday after the Blue Jays decided to push Brian Talent back into the bullpen for a while. Part of the reason is they've got 4 days over the next 3 weeks, so Cito Gaston feels that they can go with a 4-man rotation. They'll throw Talent back into the mix as a starter a week from today against Tampa Bay. But for the foreseeable future, that 4-man rotation will be Halladay, Romero, Cecil, and the young man on the mound now, Zemchinski. Let's expand on this topic with Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, just a couple of notes. Casey Jansen, an inning of relief and a rehab assignment yesterday. The day before that, Sean Markham goes 4 2/3, not allowing a run. A couple strikeouts, a couple of walks. So he's projected to be back between the 4th and the 10th of August. And then you talk about Dustin McGowan. No real prognosis on him right now. And Scott Richmond, they expect to have him back, as you mentioned yesterday, Jamie, maybe for the West Coast trip. So some bright news on the front of the pitching and the injured guys for the Blue Jays.
Sam, thank you for that update. As Zemchinski gets a little chat from Raul Chavez. Facing J.D. Drew. And you get the impression Cito Gaston might be doing a bit of a slow burn, because here's the rookie. The Jays come out with 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Zemchinski comes out and walks the number 9 hitter.
On 4 pitches, a number 9 hitter who is hitting .067 against lefties.
Little roller taken by Rolen. He underhands to Hill. They only have 1 play, and they get Gutierrez. So Drew's aboard on a fielder's choice. Gutierrez is erased, 5-4. And Dustin Pedroia will be the hitter.
Ball cued off the end of the bat by J.D. Drew, and you think it's not much of anything. Watch how this ball is just hit right off the end of the bat, or just kind of cued out there towards Rolen. What I like about Aaron Hill at second base is he didn't try and turn something into a double play that obviously had no chance of turning. Just gets the force out. Let's take our chances with the next batter. Shows you the youngster is turning into a veteran and really learning how to play the game.
Hill took Pedroia's place as the starting second baseman at the All-Star game. 1-0 to the Red Sox second baseman. Now a strike from Zemchinski. The young man on the mound had an excellent major league debut July 7th in Tampa Bay. He went 6 innings, gave up just 2 hits. Had a problematic 4th inning in which he walked 3, including Gabe Kapler with the bases loaded. And then turned in a quality start in a loss in Baltimore in the final game before the All-Star break. And so he takes an 0-1 record into this game against Boston. Zemchinski, one of 5 rookies to make their big league debuts as starters this year. And that certainly tells a story about the state of the rotation this year.
5th pitcher to make his big league debut. Romero, Ray, Cecil, Mills.
Three and one on Pedroia. And he's issued a free pass. So 2 walks and a fielder's choice. You've got base runners at first and second.
Jamie, in both of those starts that you were just talking about, the start down in Tampa and the start in Baltimore, there was one inning where Mark Zepchinski just kind of came unglued a little bit. Had the 3 walks you talked about where he walked in a run. But he was very quickly able to get it back and get the train back on the track. Right now, you get that feeling. You walk Scutaro to lead off the inning. You get through it, but then you walk Pedroia. Now you're asking for trouble walking these guys ahead of Youkilis and Ortiz and Jason Bay. Let's see if he can get it back on the track and make a good pitch.
He doesn't start well against Youkilis. There's ball 1. Youkilis is 1 for 2. He doubled in the 3rd.
Remember the scouting report. Poise and control, poise and command. He has that now. He's got to get that command. When you feel like things are starting to fall around, slow down, take a deep breath, think it through, and make a pitch.
Those are tremendous numbers with runners in scoring position. In fact, Youkilis is 4th best in the American League with a 368 in situations like this. He falls behind a ball and 2 strikes. The best in this league just happens to be Joe Mauer, who's having a terrific year with the Twins. He's hitting .400 with runners in scoring position.
He's hitting about .400 overall, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Wow. And he missed the first month of the season.
What a year. Zepchinski in some trouble trying to get out of it. That flare is headed for the seats and out of play. It was fun to watch him in his major league debut in Tampa Bay. Did not look at all nervous. Didn't look like he was churning inside, although he later admitted to me that he most definitely was.
How could you not, right?
Checks the runner. Here's the pitch. And they got him. Punched out by Eric Cooper at first. And maybe, just maybe, Zepchinski can get out of this.
Found himself in hot water in the 2nd inning. Got out of it with just 1 run scored. Now a couple of walks, and he gets a very dangerous hitter. Youkilis arguing that he didn't go around on that check swing. A big out right there from young Mark Zepchinski.
And another big one coming because David Ortiz comes to the plate 0 for 2. Not long ago, these were situations an opposing pitcher would loathe. Runners on base for Big Papi. Got off to a slow start. Really started to heat up, though, in the early part of June. He's up there now with his team down by 3. He could tie this game with 1 swat.
You were talking about the first start for Zepchinski against the Tampa Bay Rays. He had them talking to themselves. And right now, the Boston Red Sox are talking to the home plate umpire, thinking that those pitches are not strikes.
Wave and a miss. Are conversations like that one, Pat, are they measured conversations? You don't want to incite the umpire, do you?
Well, you don't say anything to get him upset. You just say, look, I thought that ball was outside. What did you think? Well, obviously he thought it was a strike, but can you go any farther than that? You ask him little subtle things like that.
1-2. 2 men on for the Red Sox, 2 gone. Here's Zebchinski with a pitch, and it's wide of the plate.
Last time up, he got David Ortiz thinking about the outside part of the plate, and he was able to get him on a fastball in that he weakly grounded to the right side. He has thrown every pitch in this sequence away.
Did he check his swing? Yes, indeed.
It's a good call. He didn't go around. Geared up for the breaking ball. He didn't offer at that one. Does he go back there with a breaking ball? Runner at second. Pedroia over at first base. They will take off now. 3-2, 2 outs to Big Papi.
90 pitches thrown by Mark Zebchinski. It's safe to say this is the most important one here. A 3-2 to Ortiz. The bat goes flying. Hill picks it up and throws to Overbay. And Zebchinski works his way out of it, getting a ground ball from Big Papi. Still 4-1 for the Jays. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. Bottom of the 5th inning. Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino. Mark Zebchinski survives the 5th after a couple of walks. Gets the ground ball from Ortiz and leaves 2 on. And so his teammates come back to the plate. Marco Scutaro, Aaron Hill, and Adam Lind facing Brad Penny in the 5th. Golfed foul by Scutaro. He's 0 for 2 today. Well, the young man for the Blue Jays has fared well so far.
What a big inning. Last inning. Walks the leadoff batter, the number 9 hitter. I'm not real sure of the percentages, but I know they're really high. When you walk the leadoff batter, he usually comes around to score. A couple of walks, but he made some big pitches, first to Youkilis and then to Ortiz. And he dances around it, and now he can be the pitcher of record.
To his credit, Zebchinski doesn't seem to be intimidated by the opposition. Base hit right field for Scutaro. Drew gets to it quickly. Scutaro hustling for second, and he is sliding in with a double. Came off the bag for a second there, but gets back. An extra base hit for Marcos Scutaro.
Oh, I just love the way he plays the game of baseball. He's not even thinking about trying to pull Brad Penny. He's keeping that front shoulder in there, just trying to slash at the ball, and hits it down the right field line. And he's thinking two as soon as he hits this ball. I was watching him as soon as he hit him. I said, well, you've got a chance to get two here. He came out of that box charging and aggressively went into second base with a leadoff double.
He's in scoring position for Aaron Hill, who takes a breaking ball inside. Penny sets, and it's grounded to the shortstop Lowry. That doesn't advance the runner. Hill is thrown out. And so with one away, we present another of the Rogers Fast Facts, brought to you by Canada's fastest mobile network, 3 times faster than any other. And on this date in the year 2000, Shannon Stewart tied a franchise record with 4 doubles in a game. It's kind of appropriate considering the Blue Jays have, as of today, managed to hit a double in 22 consecutive games. Back comes Adam Lind. He's 0 for 2. To left field. Bay back to the wall, and it's gone. Number 20 on the year for Adam Lind, an opposite field shot.
One of the goals that Adam Lind set for himself when the season started. He wanted to hit 300, and he also wanted to hit 20 home runs. Well, here's number 20. He's got tremendous oppo power. That ball at the top of the strike zone and away from him. Not a bad pitch from Brad Penny, but a good hitter who can get on top of that ball and just drives it. Jason Bay runs out of real estate in left field. Brad Penny can't believe that Adam Lind is able to hit that ball out of the ballpark.
What will be the result of his constant ability to show major league pitchers that he can hit the ball away?
They'll change on him. They'll adjust on him, and they'll try and get him out on the inside part of the plate. Remember when he talked to us down in Texas about that, he says, when I start to learn to hit the inside pitch and pull it with authority, he says, then I'll be a complete hitter. I said, you're a pretty good hitter right now. Justin Masterson gets up for the Boston Red Sox in the bullpen right after that home run.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Scott Rolen. So Adam Lind, with his 20th of the year, becomes the second Blue Jay to hit that mark, and this is only the 18th of July. And we say that knowing that it took the final game of the regular season last year for a Blue Jay to hit 20 home runs, and that was Vernon Wells, who hit 2 against the Baltimore Orioles. That was the common theme a year ago. Boy, great pitching staff. If only we could score some runs and hit some long balls now and then. And now all of a sudden, 2 guys with 20 home runs already.
Number 1 last year in starters ERA, number 1 in relief ERA.
Our statistician, Scott Carson, advises me that Lind's home run is the first by a Blue Jay in 59 innings as this ball is flying to center field. Baldelli is under it, 2 gone. A 59 inning stretch without a home run. It's been a while for the Jays.
Who is it?
I'm thinking hard.
I think
it was Tampa Bay. You were down there. Did one of the Jays hit a home run in Tampa Bay? Because the last home run I remember from a Blue Jay was John McDonald in New York, but it wasn't that long ago. Hard hit ball, but foul by Overbay. Here's a better question. Why aren't we asking our statistician to look it up?
He should be, right? Let me see if I can beat him to the punch.
All right. Dig out the old scorecards. Here's the 0-1 to Overbay.
Vernon Wells homered in the second inning.
In Tampa.
In Tampa, July the 8th, second inning. Sorry, Vernon.
Good work.
Sorry, I couldn't remember off the top of my head.
It's been so long. Overbay is 2 for 2. He singled twice, scored once. Awaits the 2-1. Here it is. That evens the count. Here's the pitch from Penny. And now a full count on Overbay. Got him swinging. Overbay's gone. So are the Blue Jays, but Adam Lynn has matched Aaron Hill with 20 home runs this year. His latest to left field, scores 2. And after 5 here in Toronto, it's the Blue Jays 6 and the Red Sox 1.
He's had a few walks. The strikeouts for Zebchinski. He's left 6 runners on base through 5. That's where that poise has, I think, really helped him in this game. He's found himself in hot water, but he's able to get himself out.
He faces Jason Bay here to begin the 6th inning. Let's go downstairs and bring in Sam Cosentino once again.
Well, Jamie, talking about Jason Bay and a possible contract extension, it was tabled before spring training. The two sides decided to break apart, breached the topic once again before the All-Star break, and both sides decided that they would table all contract talks until the end of the season, just not being able to come to an agreement on a contract extension. Of course, Bay being acquired last year at the deadline in a 3-way deal, thus making people in Boston forget pretty quickly about Manny Ramirez.
Yes, he did. And he is trotting down to first base after drawing a walk against Sebczynski. And Bay said he's not trying to be greedy. He just wants a fair price. And all he has to do really, Pat, is look at the leadoff hitter, J.D. Drew, who's making $14 million a year.
Having a better year. RBI since the trade of Manny Ramirez. Remember when that trade came through? Everybody said, well, that's it. The Red Sox got the raw end of that deal. Bay is a better base runner. He's a better defender. He throws better than Manny Ramirez. And so far, the production has been more than Manny. They've made Boston forget about him.
Well, it seems to be a case of a good player made better by having a better surrounding, a better cast of teammates. Not to discredit some of his teammates in Pittsburgh, but this is a much better team he's playing with.
Well, I think, you know, he's a good player that people didn't know a whole lot about in Pittsburgh. When you put a big bat like that and surround him with the good hitters that the Boston Red Sox have, it just makes him that much better.
He's at first. Mike Lowell is the hitter, 2-0. And finally a strike from Sebczynski. You see Jesse Carlson up and throwing in the bullpen. With 97 pitches thrown, it might be that Sebczynski's starting to labor a little bit here.
The Red Sox are at the bottom of their order, and you know that Cito Gaston would love to get one more inning out of his starter. Then he just has to navigate through the last three with his bullpen. It's there for him. Bottom of the order. Make some pitches here and you'll probably see his day over.
This game, Pat, could have easily gotten away from Sebczynski in the second inning. He gave up a leadoff double to Jason Bay. He walked Lowell, and then Baldelli singled to bring home Bay. First and third, nobody out, already 1-0 for the Red Sox. And yet, this young man on the mound managed to get out of it.
It was actually second and third. Remember, Baldelli had taken second on the throw. Second and third, one run in. There was a good pitch on the inner half. Second and third, nobody out. The whole key to that inning was the number 8 and the number 9 batters were not able to move those runners along. He struck out Jed Lowry and he got a pop-up from Scutaro. He's got his work cut out for him again here in this inning after the leadoff walk.
2-2 on Lowell. Here's the pitch. Skied to left. Playable for Adam Lind. And there's one away. But we've seen in the past young pitchers who give up 3 and 4 and sometimes 5 runs in situations like that, and it totally alters the direction of the game because now all of a sudden you put your offense behind.
And you take away weapons from your offense. Maybe you don't hit and run. Maybe you don't take that extra base. If the Blue Jays were behind by 4 runs, Marco Scutaro hits that ball to right field. Maybe he just stays at first base. You know, he doesn't want to get thrown out at second base. But you limit them to 1 run. You have a 3-run lead. You can be a little bit more aggressive on the bases. Take a little bit more of a chance.
1 strike on Rocco Baldelli. That's in at the belt. So it's a ball and a strike now. Sebczynski today in just his 3rd big league start. 1 more start than he's ever had at AAA. This young man has come a long, long way considering he pitched all of last year at Single-A Lansing and performed well enough to be awarded the Howard Webster Award at the end of the year as the top player at that level.
Yeah, think about that. A-ball last year at this time. And now he's pitching against the Boston Red Sox. He's come a long way in a very short time.
But he's with an organization that can give him that opportunity. In direct contrast, last night, Clay Buchholz, who's tearing apart AAA, comes up here, wins a game, as that is nubbed foul, and then promptly gets sent back to AAA. after really handing it to the Blue Jays.
I thought he pitched really well in last night's game. Did Buck Holtz, and his reward for that is a ticket back to Pawtucket.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, that's what happens when you are stacked up with starting pitching throughout the organization.
Here's Zebchinski trying to get through 6. He knows the bullpen is working now. He's got 2 strikes on Baldelli, and he's keeping an eye on Bay at first. Can't get a strikeout pitch there. It's 2-2.
And I think for young pitchers, they see the finish line. They know their day is just about through, so they want to rush things and go a little bit quicker and say, okay, I got to hurry to get this. It's where you just take your time right here. Slow things down just a little bit and make a pitch.
Roy Halladay's an interested spectator. Here's a ground ball back to Zebchinski. Takes his time, gets it to Hill, back to first, double play. Perfect timing. It might just be the last pitch he throws today, and if that's the case, what an outing.
How about the confidence to just take your time and make sure you make a good throw, and he gets out of it again.
Starts this year, he has never made it past 6 2/3. A short outing here, 5 innings of work against the Blue Jays. He allows 6 earned runs.
Just didn't seem to have the command with his fastball that we have seen in the past. Blue Jays trying to beat him for the first time in their career. They knock him out of the game, and now Justin Masterson comes in. 3-3. An ERA just south of 5. The big right-hander. Got a good sinking fastball, a little bit of a slider. Ping pong back and forth from the starting rotation last year in the bullpen.
Popped up by Rios. Well back of first base. Pedroia goes out in support of Youkilis and makes the play. 1 out in the 6th inning. Brad Arnsberg listening to what Zebchinski has to say.
Looks like he was talking about his curveball. You know, letting it go and getting it out in front early in the game. Remember, we were talking about him. It didn't look like he was finishing his pitches. I think that's what he was talking about, that he had to get his curveball out and finish it, and you get good breaks and good results.
Justin Masterson has been one of the least effective relievers for the Red Sox this year. They're greatly concerned with his bloated ERA out of the bullpen. He in fact started some games when Daisuke Matsuzaka went on the disabled list.
Yeah, 6 starts this year for Masterson. That didn't work out. They really feel that his best value is pitching out of that bullpen if he can throw strikes consistently. He's got good movement on his pitches. Comes from a high 3/4 arm slot. That could be really nasty on right-handed batters.
Two balls and 2 strikes now on Millar. Masterson with a pitch low. It skims the dirt. A full count to the designated hitter, who's 0 for 2 today. Jose Bautista's on deck. He came up with that big 2-out double in the 4th. Oh, Kevin Millar strikes out looking. Tail between his legs. He goes back, gets the bat, and will accept a strikeout here.
Second time looking. Masterson paints one right on the outside part of the plate. Again, a good job by the catcher Gutierrez to frame it. Brings it back to the strike zone as Diaz punches out Kevin Millar for the second time.
First pitch swinging. Here's a ball into right field. Drew makes the catch, and Masterson makes quick work of the Blue Jays. Just 8 pitches needed here in the 6th inning. Himself in line for his first major league win with an outstanding start today against the Boston Red Sox.
Just 4 hits against the Red Sox, a team that has hit very well on the road of late. Just that 1 run. Ran into trouble here and there because of the walks, but he found his way out of it. And like you say, he's in line for his first big league win. 6 solid innings, I think, for Zabczynski. He will give way to Jesse Carlson out of the bullpen, making his 45th appearance of the season. That now ties him with Craig Breslow and Matt Guerrier for the most appearances in the American League. The first batter he will face is the number 8 batter. That's Jed Lowry.
Lowry goes after the first one. A drive down the line, and it is gone. A home run on the first pitch he sees from Jesse Carlson. This guy's been out of action since April. What a way to step back into the lineup.
No need waiting for a breaking ball. First pitch, fastball from Carlson, and it's up. Jesse Carlson is good when he keeps things down and gets ahead, when he can use that good breaking ball. But this one is right over the middle of the plate, and Lowry homers.
That's just his second hit all year. And so Lowry makes it a 6-2 lead for the Blue Jays as George Scutaro steps in. One and one on the Canadian catcher. All those catchers that the Red Sox have employed to form a battery with Tim Wakefield, men like Kevin Cash and Josh Bard and Doug Mirabelli for a long time, none of them were able to see Wakefield head to an all-star game as Aaron Hill makes a diving stab and robs Gutierrez of a base hit. That is an all-star play right there.
He can do it with his bat. We've seen him run the bases, and all season long that defense for the Blue Jays has been outstanding. #1 in the American League in fielding percentage. And this can really deflate a rally when you take away a sure base hit. Just a great play right there from Aaron Hill.
Back comes J.D. Drew. One and two now. The pitch from Carlson. And a diving stab made by Scott Rolen. You've got to be kidding me. Incredible defense on back-to-back occasions. I didn't think he had a chance of getting to that.
Did you see him move after there were 2 strikes on J.D. Drew? He was up for the bunt, but he moves back, and that allows him with that long reach to make a play. Again, the defense helps out the pitching staff. It's been there all season long. They have made great play after great play. Jesse Carlson's afternoon is done. He gave up the home run, but the defense got him 2 outs.
And so with Dustin Pedroia coming up, Jeremy Accardo is called in from the bullpen. We'll be back right after this with the Blue Jays leading 6-2.
Look at Scott Rolen, the third baseman. He is in, and now with 2 strikes on the batter, J.D. Drew, he starts to shift away. He takes the bunt away. Now he moves back, gets himself into position. Next pitch, right there to make the great play. Veteran move by Rolen. knowing who the batter is and the count and the situation.
And great analysis.
Thank you.
That's very interesting. You've played this game, haven't you?
I watched a few games over the years.
Jeremy Accardo takes over for Jesse Carlson. Dustin Pedroia is the hitter. He's got a base hit in the ball game. Here's Accardo, and it's popped into right field. Bautista settles under it. And that's it for the Red Sox here in the 7th. They get a home run to make it 6-2. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet.
Bautista picks on a hanging breaking ball from Brad Penny and rips it up the alley in left center field. 2 more runs cross. The Jays take a 4-1 lead at that time, and a big 2-out hit by Jose Bautista.
Visit BlueJays.com to register for a chance to win prizes with the Burger King Superfan Contest. Well, what to make of this game? Mark Zebchinski, the rookie left-hander, staring at a possible first major league win.
If the bullpen can bring it on home, a 4-run lead, and in the bottom of the 7th inning, Adam Lynn got 2 big runs back, I think, in the 5th inning with his 20th home run of the season.
Here in the 7th, Chavez, Scutaro, and Hill coming up for the Jays. Boston scored first with a run in the 2nd after a double and a walk and a single. It could have been a 2 or 3-run inning, but Zebchinski was able to keep it at 1 and allowed the Blue Jays to get back in it. They scored after a none-out bases loaded situation in the 2nd. Only got 1, but tied up the game, and then scored 3 times in the 4th. That Bautista double being the key hit, and then Adam Lynn's 20th home run of the year in the 5th, a 2-run shot, made it 6-1. Lowry's home run makes it a 6-2 game. Ground ball taken by Pedroia. He's got time and throws out Chavez. And we put a bow on this series with a terrific pitching matchup in the finale tomorrow, and we hope you'll join us on Rogers Sportsnet. Roy Halladay has not won a game since June the 7th. He's still 10-3. So he'll go up against John Lester, who was darn near unhittable when he pitched here in Toronto in late May.
I know he had double figures in strikeouts. I want to say 11 or 12.
He ended up with 6 innings, 1 run on 3 hits, and 12 strikeouts in an 8-2 victory over Ricky Romero and the Blue Jays. So that's the matchup for tomorrow, and what a dandy. You're rubbing your hands. Good thing. So please join us on Sportsnet. Again, the start time 1 Eastern time. 10 a.m. Pacific. And for those coming down to the ballpark, don't forget to bring a cash donation or a non-perishable food item for the Daily Bread Food Bank. Here's a bouncer to short. At the bag is Lowry. He throws out Scutaro, quickly 2 down. And also tomorrow, for those coming to the game, the first 10,000 fans in the building get the Mr. Sub sports bag, courtesy of Mr. Sub. Again, pick up your tickets by visiting your local Rogers Plus location. Or beat the rush at the box office and get here early. It's the Blue Jays and Red Sox Leicester against Halliday. With 2 gone, Aaron Hill is 0 for 3. But he is fresh from making a Gold Glove caliber play, robbing George Scutaro of a base hit in the top of the inning. He takes that one for ball 2.
He's had a couple of good at bats this afternoon. First time up, hit the ball hard to left field, and then he lined right out, right at Dustin Pedroia, the second baseman. Sometimes you come to the ballpark, you have good at bats, and you have nothing to show for it. So you try and help your team out by doing something else. Maybe make a great play like we saw last inning. Maybe bust up a double play if you're on first base. Maybe get a 2-out rally started right here.
A 3-1 pitch. Laz Diaz checks the mask to make sure it's still in working order. So you want to be an umpire.
Wow. Where were we? Were we just in Baltimore when that happened to the home plate umpire and he had to leave the game?
Yes, indeed. I believe it was Ron Culpa.
You're
in
right.
fact, it knocked him right out of the ball game.
Right out of the game.
And then early on this year against Texas, was it Kerwin Danley?
Oh yeah, he
remember
went down.
Kerwin Danley and Hank Blaylock on a follow through snapped his bat and the barrel hit him right on the side of the head. Here's a 3-2. A grounder for the shortstop Lowry. Deep in the hole, he throws out Hill. Hill is 0 for 4. And the Blue Jays go cleanly through the 7th, where they enjoy a 6-2 lead on the Red Sox. 11-88. This has not been a dog of a game. In fact, 6-2 in favor of the Jays. Game 2 of a 3-game weekend series. And Jason Frazier is the new man on the mound for Toronto.
Takes over as the 8th inning guy now for Cito Gaston, just in front of Scott Downs. What a season it has been for Jason Frazier. He's only given up runs 5 times in his 36 appearances this year. Opponents hitting just .216 off of Frazier. He's really taken over in the 8th inning. He has been the guy that Cito Gaston has gone to now with leads in the 8th inning.
Number 3 hitter Kevin Youkilis is up there taking a strike. 1-1. Youkilis today is 1 for 3. He's grounded out, struck out, and doubled. The Red Sox have only 5 hits in the ballgame. 4 coming off rookie Mark Zipchinski. 1 a home run against Jesse Carlson. Jeremy Accardo faced only 1 batter. That was Dustin Pedroia, and he induced a fly ball to right field. So now here's Frazier in the 8th, and he'll see Youkilis, Ortiz, and Bay. 1-2, and he got him. Down goes Youkilis for the 2nd time on strikes.
Doesn't happen very often to a good hitter like Kevin Youkilis. But Jason Frazier really pulls the string with 2 strikes. That 3rd pitch of his has really become a dandy this year. Good changeup now. 30 strikeouts in 33 of the 3rd innings for Jason Frazier.
Popped up by Ortiz into shallow left center. In comes Lynn, and he makes the catch. Ortiz is gone on 1 pitch. 2 out here in the 8th inning. Commentator clothing is provided in part by Z Zenya. Statistical information provided by Stats Inc. And with 2 out, Jason Bay is back at the plate. 1 for 2. That's Laz Diaz, and he's dealing with Kevin Youkilis.
Yeah, a couple of pitches that were borderline that Blue Jay pitchers have got against Youkilis. Youkilis letting the home plate umpire, letting them know that, hey, those were called strikes when I was up there.
Popped up, foul territory. Bautista coming a long way, and it bounces between him and Hill. I guess that one was never destined to find a glove.
You've got to play Jason Bay to pull, so this is a long way to go for both Aaron Hill and Jose Bautista. Good effort by both of the fielders to try and come up with it.
Hill's exhausted.
Just don't hit another one of those. That's what he's saying right now. Getting my running in.
Give me an easy ground ball here. One ball and 2 strikes on Bay. Same area. This one out of play. I do like that Laz Diaz kept it clean. He knows we've got microphones down in that area.
Said nobody's yelling when this guy is hitting.
Chavez moves inside. That's where the pitch ends up. 2-2 on Jason Bay. Frazier's investment in a third pitch has really paid off for him this year. Went down to Tennessee for a time at his own expense to work on a changeup, and he just struck out. Jason Bay looking. Gets an easy 1-2 3/8. Leaves the Canadian shaking his head. He leaves Kevin Youkilis frustrated, and he leaves with the Blue Jays after 7.5, leading the Red Sox 6-2. Descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Happy birthday to Jerry Triple Play Shea. Whoever you may be, your friends are awfully creative.
See, they just wanted to get on television.
Well, they did a good job. That's an easy way of getting on.
Very creative. The new pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, Ramon Ramirez, takes over for the 39th time this year. Ramirez has been one of the best setup men in all of baseball. He's hit a wall lately, an ERA over 5 in his last 16 games, but he's still one of the best.
Gets a swing from Adam Lynn, the number 3 hitter, whose last trip to the plate resulted in his 20th home run of the year. 6-2 for the Jays in the bottom of the 8th inning. 1-1. Here's Ramirez, and it's high for ball 2. So here is number 20. And eventually some of these pitchers are going to learn that you can't necessarily get him out pitching away.
That was a pretty decent pitch, I thought, from Penny. It was up and it was away, but Lind is so good at going the other way.
That's down the line, and it's dropped by Lowell, and that's a fair ball. Adam Lind into second. Perhaps Lowell heard the footsteps of Jed Lowry.
Well, that's Jed Lowry's ball. It really is. He's got a better angle at that ball as he heads towards the foul line in left field. That's his ball, but you see Lowell at the last minute kind of raise his hand saying, I got it. But then Lowry, they both collide. They are in fair territory. And the ball gets knocked out of the glove of Mike Lowell. And that will be a nice gift double for Adam Lind.
It's got to go as one of the crazier doubles that Lind's ever picked up.
You know he'll take it.
That makes him 2 for 4. You make the great point that Lowell was raising his hand, but you know, Jed Lowry's too busy trying to find the baseball. He's not looking at Lowell.
Right, that's his ball. You know, whenever a corner infielder has to turn his back and run straight back to try and catch a pop-up, it's the middle infielder who has a better angle on that ball. That's his ball, and he's got pop-up priority over that corner infielder.
So Lowell should have been, excuse me, Lowry should have been calling off Lowell.
Probably was. But Mike Lowell might not have heard him.
Lind will take it. He's at second. Scott Rolen is the batter, 2 for 3. Let's see if you can see Lowry's mouth moving here. And very hard to tell. It's 3-0 now on Rolen. He sends that one fouling out of play. They've changed the scoring on that play as that's fouled away as well. Instead of a double now, it's a 2-base error, and the error is charged to Lowry.
Yeah, you can see from that shot right there that he is calling off Mike Lowell. Tough error.
Here's Ramirez, a 3-2. Muscled foul. First man is on for the Jays, bottom of the 8th inning. Leading by 4 as Rolen awaits the Ramirez offering. Here it comes. Ball 4. He walks Rolen. Runners now at first and second. And Lyle Overbay's been red hot.
Right man at the right spot right here. 3 hits yesterday. 2 more this afternoon.
He is 5 for 7 in the series. Here's a perfectly good opportunity to drive in his first run since June the 21st. Overbay against Ramirez. Rolen and Lind on base. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
Good aggressive swing right there from Lyle Overbay. You know a batter is seeing the ball when he takes an 0-1 swing like that. Very aggressive. Now he can get back to what he does best, using the whole field, tracking that ball a little bit deeper.
Hits it in the air to left. Bay a long way out, comes running in and makes the catch. Overbay flies out, and there's one away in the 8th. Well, as Alex Rios comes up, we'd like to send out a happy 82nd birthday wish to Nola Cressa, who's watching just outside of Edmonton in beautiful St. Albert, Alberta. And enjoying this one, no doubt. 6-2 for the Blue Jays. Alex Rios with an RBI single in the 4th inning. Strike one taken.
Since the start of last season, Jamie, there was only 5 relievers who have pitched a minimum of 100 innings that have an ERA lower than Ramirez. I mean, that's how effective he has been. First with Kansas City last year, now with Boston. That's why they gave up Coco Crisp to get him. One of those relievers is his teammate, Jonathan Papelbon. And that ERA is 2.5. He is a valuable piece to their bullpen.
Yet another one of those acquisitions, though, in the offseason that really didn't cause much of a stir around baseball. Everybody, of course, in Boston took notice because everything the Red Sox do is news. But they already had good depth in the bullpen. They add a good piece here and give up, really, in Coco Crisp, someone they weren't going to use anyway.
Baseball people knew that the Red Sox made a nice trade in getting this guy. Good arm. Rubber arm. Can pitch almost every day, it seems like. Good stuff. Great numbers.
He gets Rios. And there are 2 gone now. Rios strikes out for the first time this afternoon.
Ramirez picks up his first strikeout.
And it's been a tough day at the plate for Kevin Millar. 0 for 3. He's grounded into a double play and struck out twice. First and second here. And he takes a strike. Ramirez with the 0-1, taken foul. It's now 0-2. Scheduled to bat for the Red Sox in the top of the 9th inning. They're 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Mike Lowell, Rocco Baldelli, and Jed Lowry. There's the 0-2. It's way up there and almost past Gutierrez. Scott Downs is ready. He seems poised to come in the 9th inning in a non-save situation. 2-2.
Blue Jays are really making Ramirez throw a lot of pitches. 24 of them now. If they need him tomorrow, he might not be available.
There goes Millar. He strikes out for the 3rd time today and leaves 2 on base. End of 8 here in Toronto. 6-2 for the Jays. Scott Downs coming on. They'll try and finish off the Red Sox when we return. Stay tuned for that, and obviously a little post-game coverage from here at Rogers Center. And that precedes the soccer game coming up at 5 Eastern time here on Rogers Sportsnet on all 4 channels. It's Gold Cup action between Honduras and Canada. Right now, though, here's Scott Downs in a non-save situation, making his 29th appearance of the year. Look at that ERA, 1.91, awfully impressive.
Yeah, the whip is very good, under 1. His opponent's batting average under 200. He has not worked in 8 days.
Base hit down the line from Mike Lowell, and he is really laboring into second, but he manages to come up with a double on the first pitch thrown by Scott Downs.
4-run lead. You want to get ahead, strike 1. Lowell knows it, and he goes out there swinging hard. You're right, he really struggled around the bases. Here he is coming around first. He had that hip problem, but he makes it standing just ahead of the throw from Adam Lind.
Next man up is Rocco Baldelli. Terry Francona's got 4 men on his bench. Are you a little surprised, considering the way Lowell's running, that he hasn't sent out a pinch runner?
A little bit. After watching him go from home to second.
And the way he's running, a base hit here by Baldelli does not guarantee a run at all.
Right. Right. I don't think the Blue Jay outfielders, if there was a hit to the outfield, would even attempt to go home. They want to keep the double play in order, and they probably just throw it into second.
2 strikes on Baldelli. Here's Downs, and Baldelli gets a piece. This is a brand new set of circumstances for Downs, though this is not a safe situation. Now with the release of B.J. Ryan, he is unchallenged as the closer of this team. Ryan didn't waste any time finding employment. He signed on a minor league contract with the Chicago Cubs the other day. 2-strike pitch. Once again, Baldelli gets a piece.
What makes Scott Downs effective as a reliever is he comes in and he throws strikes, and he can throw strikes with his breaking ball at any time in the count. Very smart out there. Thinks about how he wants to set up hitters. Baldelli making life a little tough for him.
He's not your typical closer. He's not Jonathan Papelbon, who runs in that fastball and the split finger, or Mariano Rivera.
Right. Maybe he doesn't have a signature pitch to get you out. But again, he's really smart. He can throw strikes. He can throw his breaking ball when he's behind in the count. So he can be very effective.
How about this battle? 7 pitches, all 7 of them strikes. A bunch fouled out of play. Lowell at second, nobody out, 9th inning. The Blue Jays by 4.
Yeah,
now Baldelli backs out.
He can move that breaking ball around also. The right-handed batter, he can front door it or he can backdoor it if he has to. Doesn't throw it in the same spot all the time. Tried to backdoor it that time. One and
2. And the pitch Missing inside. There he goes. Chavez drops the ball, but he finishes off Baldelli with the throw to first. And there's one away.
Yeah, throw the breaking ball at any time. Throw it on the outside part, or you can pull down right here and get it right on the dirt. Getting those right-handed batters to fish for that curveball.
Now here's Jed Lowry, who took the first pitch he saw from left-hander Jesse Carlson in the 7th into the bullpen in left field for a home run. With one down, Mike Lowell stands at second. Here's Downs with the first pitch, and he catches a corner for strike one. Lowry just activated from the DL, hitting just .095, just 2 hits all year. Let's go back to the 7th inning and watch this.
For a little guy, he's got some pop in that bat now. High fastball, and he just turns on it.
He is in a bind here, though. 0-2. Down steps off. And now Reddy's against Lowry. Stroke toward right field, and that ball is in foul territory and just by a foot or two.
Watch how close this ball comes to landing fair. Just a foot or so. Jason Varitek has picked up a bat and moved to the on-deck circle. He will pinch hit for George Scutaro.
Here's the 2-strike pitch again, and it's popped up. In comes Bautista. Out goes Lowry. One more out from Scott Downs and the Blue Jays. And we'll go directly to Sportsnet Connected. Ivanka Osmak and Jim Lang are standing by. Here's a pinch hitter, Jason Varitek, who started and caught Clay Buchholz last night.
Red Sox don't use a pinch hitter very often. Just 6 pinch hits all season long. This is Jason Varitek's first attempt. First at bat as a pinch hitter this year. They've got 6 hits all year as a team, and Rocco Baldelli has 3 of them.
One and one after the swing from Varitek. Downs trying to finish off the Red Sox here to ensure the first major league win for starter Mark Zebchinski. The rookie left-hander went 6 innings, gave up just 4 hits, allowing 1 run to the Red Sox. Here's the 1-1 pitch, grounded hard to Rolen, and this should do it. Rolen goes across the diamond, and the ball game is over. The Blue Jays defeat the Red Sox in Game 2, 6-2. And the rookie gets his first win in the big leagues.
Yeah, this is a game that the Blue Jays had to have with Halladay pitching tomorrow. Good game all the way around.
For Pat Tabler, Sam Cosentino, and Scott Carson, I'm Jamie Campbell. Thanks for watching. Stand by now for Sportsnet Connected.